I heard America was shook. BRICS is it just keeps getting better. It keeps getting better. Welcome to the channel. My name is Ashley. On my channel, Ashley in Africa, I talk of my experience of living, moving, and doing business on the continent of Africa. I currently live in South Africa, Johannesburg to be exact, which is one of the founding members of the BRICS economic conglomerate. And on this channel, I share what that looks like for me and my business, but also what that looks like for you if you have a desire to move or do business on the continent of Africa, specifically in the countries that I share and I talk about, which right now is South Africa. And BRICS, as a founding member of this economic conglomerate, it's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. So if this type of content interests you, please be sure to like this video and share it with someone who would also find value in it. All right, so let's jump in. For those that are new, BRICS is an economic conglomerate, basically, founded by the emerging economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and of course, South Africa. These are major emerging economies, and there's a lot happening. And the goal of this is to foster economic cooperation, political stability, and strategic partnerships. And, you know, let's just get this clear. There's a lot of misconception of me focused on the fact that always saying, oh, you know, you just want America to fail. And listen, I'm an American. That is something that I'm grateful for. I am also someone that has paid attention and, you know, studied economics and have been paid as an economic researcher, as an economist, to provide my opinion on a lot of economic developments, macroeconomics. And once I started focusing on the macro and not the micro, which basically means the things that are kind of in your city, in your country, in your state, and a global perspective, the game changed for me. And so my decision to move to the continent with myself and my family and to start business was because I saw the developing trend of what was happening globally, and I wanted to be a part of that. And so this has nothing to do with my desire. I have no desire. I have family, friends that I love that still live in the US, but the global trends are changing, whether we want to believe it or not. And for all of the naysayers that are constantly telling me what is and what isn't going to work, well, 97 nations have confirmed their attendance at the BRICS 2024 Games. And in this video, we're going to cover this update and whether or not America should be concerned and Americans should be concerned. I mean, I've been saying this from the beginning, maybe 2 years ago, that yeah, you should be paying attention. But people are just convinced that nothing's happening. And if this changes things, America's gonna go to war. And hey, listen, what do you think's happening now? I digress. So this year, Russia is hosting the BRICS conference, and they're also hosting the 2024 BRICS Games. And they've got 97 nations confirming their attendance, which means that BRICS is growing in its appeal and influence at an unprecedented rate. Now, what is so exciting about this as a person who has worked in economic development? Culture is the number one indicator of why a person would like to live or move to a new place, do business in a new place, make friends in a new place, culture. And so the intention around creating a game where everyone can connect despite religion, despite race, despite language, people can connect and learn to understand and work together collaboratively. And that is why the BRICS 2024 Games is brilliant. And with over nearly 100 countries confirming attendance, you cannot say that there is no significant interest in this BRICS bloc. There are said to be 20 different sporting games that are going to foster camaraderie of the nations, and the organization of the games is on the the desk of Russia, right? Russia is focused on making this a world-class event, as they have World Cups in the past, and they are organizing the entire games as a part of their global strategy to foster global cooperation and organizational commitment to the BRICS conglomerate. And so sports, like I said, it's more than just sports. It's about a cultural exchange to strengthen ties, unity, and solidarity. This is the direction we are going in as a world. And the more we try to separate ourselves and push this one to the side, erase this one's perspective, that is just not the way of the future. That is the biggest way to decline. But let me know what you think in the comments. And this game is going to foster international diplomacy, peace, and cooperation of the next generation. Russia is on the right track. Come for me if you want in the comments. For those that have been taught, like myself, that Russia and China are the bad guys, listen. This is the proof in the pudding. I'll be sure to link a couple of articles and videos below so that you can also do your own research. But guys, like, this is happening and this is significant. These type of games are not platforms for athletics, but they play a crucial role in diplomacy, international relations, you know, non-formal and formal meetings to be able to network with other countries that are developing nations, and attracting foreign tourism and investment. I am the first person that is raising their hand. I would love to go to Russia and attend the BRICS 2024 games. If you know somebody, put me on. I'm very interested. Many nations are collaborating and growing in this BRICS effort. I believe 7 countries have submitted formal application for this year already, right? So with over 40 countries expressing interest, 7 have already submitted formal applications. And this challenges the dominance of the Western economic blocs. I've already reported that the GDP of the BRICS conglomerate has surpassed the US. That was before the addition of said countries like Iran, Egypt, you know, I think Argentina. Please don't, I don't have those in front of me, guys, sorry. Yeah, because this was about the BRICS Games. I was just so excited about this, that I had to report on the fact that there are nearly 100 countries participating in the BRICS Games, and you guys in the comments still want to tell me that this will never happen. It's happening, and it's happening fast, okay? So those other countries include Iran, as I said, Egypt, Ethiopia, and the UAE, so not Argentina, but I believe that they've expressed formal interest. Listen, this is happening. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? Should the US be concerned? You know, this process is based upon consensus. So when they talked about, you know, these formal applications, each country has to agree. And the decisions are made collectively. It's not just, oh, one country has a relationship. But the goal is to essentially foster growth in these developing countries, to reduce the dependency on the US dollar, lower transaction costs when trade is involved, and mitigate the exchange rate risks. You know, when as an American, we're not clued into how our Federal Reserve has literally locked everybody into trade within the dollar, made it really hard for developing countries to develop, made developing countries to be, you know, allowed them to be independent or not allowing them. We're just not aware. And I'm not saying I'm not against any country. I just think it's fair that everybody gets a fair shot at creating a better life and society for their citizens. And at this point, I think it's pretty clear that America is for its own interest. And I'm not sure that that includes their citizens, just saying. But these countries that are a part of the conglomerate, that's their goal. And their goal is to reduce the dependency on Western influence. And, you know, these countries recognize a growing power. These Western guys, they recognize it. As do these other developing nations that are, you know, have positive economic growth opportunities, and they want to network with each other, and they want to assess how they can benefit from a relationship with each other and have sustainable development projects, not projects that are going to put countries in debt for decades and decades with ridiculous predatory lending structures. And so, the more that you have nations that recognize that forward progression is about relationships, mutual understanding, and cultural acceptance, that's how we move forward as a community. It's really unity, and that's just it, right? So how do you hedge against it? People want to know, what do you do? I'm in America. How do I get involved with investing in BRICS? Well, I think the first thing is to do your research, recognize what is happening, get familiar with what you don't know, and unlearn what you do, because a lot of us have been taught one way and the world is going in a different direction. Diversify. That looks different, right? It could be money, but it also could be location dependent, right? There's no reason for us to just commit to one place our entire life. Like, we get an opportunity to live globally. So have an opportunity to visit other countries, explore other countries, learn about other countries, and see what it looks like for you then. This is not about just money. This is about culture. This is about, there's so many things involved with understanding what BRICS is doing that, as if you're coming from a Western world where you're just not really familiar with another culture besides your own, that's the first step. The next thing is earn foreign currency. Figure out a way that you can earn currency from other countries that you may be interested in living or traveling to. Because if the majority of these nations join, it's going to be a significant international game changer. And it's looking that way. Profound global economic shifts, profound, international relations, sanctions, policies, all that, global trade policies, financial policies, economic regulations, tourism. These things are going to change the way the world looks eventually. And hey, I don't think it's happening tomorrow. I don't think it's happening next year, but it's happening. And if we think about it, for those of us that are in our 30s, if you're in your 40s or in your 50s, you remember 10 years ago, you remember 20 years ago, and it doesn't feel like it was that long ago. You can remember vividly an experience that you had 10 or 20 years ago. That's where we're going. And we need to be preparing through educating ourselves and sharing information with the ones that we love and care about, because things are changing. Should the US be concerned? Should the US be scared? I'm not sure. Not a lot of people are sharing content on African politics, the economy, and how the continent is growing and increasing power. I'm invested in this. It's something that I really enjoy researching and sharing, and how the diaspora as well as the globe should be involved in that process. I'm passionate about the diaspora because for many of us, not only have we been colonized in some ways, it's in most ways, and mentally is one of the biggest. And so we need to be aware of these changes. We need to be aware of what's happening, not to be scared, not to be fearful, but to be interested and to educate ourselves on the process. So if you have a desire and you want to learn more about how to get involved, or different things that are changing economically, we talk about this regularly within our community, our group coaching, our community, our Discord at the Africa Investors Academy. Currently, enrollment is closed, but get on the waiting list so you can get an exclusive link when registration opens, because we're growing and I've had to manage the community a bit better. But everybody, regardless of where you are in your journey, whether you're just getting started, whether you have no idea where to start, or you've even, started a business in a foreign country on the continent, you will find value in the community by collaborating with like minds, resources, advisors around the future growth of the continent. So if that sounds interesting, visit us at the link in the description, get on the waiting list, and even get a freebie on the top 10 seven-figure business opportunities here on the continent, and some of the mistakes that people are making in the process. So would love to have you like this video, share it with someone who finds value in it, and let me know in the comments what you think. BRICS is not playing. And it's just an exciting time to be aware of such change. So until the next video, guys, I'll talk to you soon.